Well, welcome back, and I'm Mario Martinez Jr. I'm excited to be here with you today on this episode of the Modern Sales Mastery Show, and we're going to get started. 4 things you must do to prospect better and smarter. That's what we're going to be talking about today, and I'm very excited to spend this time with you guys today talking about these 4 things that will actually improve your prospecting. So let's get started without any further ado. First off, what I want to make sure that you do is join the movement. Make sure that you're following us on LinkedIn. All you have to do is type follow on LinkedIn.com. You'll be able to subscribe to the Vengreso channel. Also, if you love learning from short videos, we publish videos all the time on YouTube. So make sure that you follow on YouTube as well. And finally, if you're a tweeter, go ahead and follow us on Twitter. And we'll make sure that you engage and you can stay engaged with all of these great sales tips and sales content that we publish all the time, generally all around sales, prospecting, and leadership tips for the modern sales leader. Let's get right into talking about the Pvc Sales Methodology. Now, you've seen this before in one of the conversations that we've talked to you guys about in the first few episodes. And we referenced a site called the Pvc Sales Method, the Pvc Sales Method. So all of this information is at the pbcsales.com. So let's talk about the Pvc Sales Method. What is it? Well, first off, when we think about the P is for personalization. We want to make sure that whenever we're reaching out to a buyer, whether it be through email, whether it be through text or LinkedIn, or even on the phone, that we personalize the specific message to either 1, the individual, or 2, to the actual persona and the specific pain that they may have. Now, how do you personalize to the individual? Well, we can absolutely reference commonalities. We can reference mutual connections. We can reference an article. We can reference the company culture, the information that we saw about their company. We can also let them know that we're looking forward to meeting them. They may be talking about a specific event that we might be at virtually or in person. And then in addition to that, we want to be thinking about how we can take some of their content, the things that they're sharing, the things that are important to them, and actually use that as an opener. Now, not everybody and every prospect can we personalize this message to. So what do we do when we can't personalize to the individual? We personalize to the persona. What do I mean by that? Well, you've heard me talk about this before, but we at Vengreso, we help sales leaders and teams create more sales conversations. So when I reach out to a sales leader, I'm going to personalize a message directly to the buyer persona pain. As an example, I might say, generally when I reach out or talk to VPs of sales, they have 2 common problems. Number 1, they want their sellers to create more sales conversations or host more meetings. And number 2, they need to build more sales pipeline. Are those 2 problems that you're having? Right. So now I'm personalizing to the individual buyer persona that my product or service can help solve specifically for that particular leader. If they say no, they don't want to create more sales conversations, or no, they don't want to create more sales meetings, or no, they don't want to create more sales pipeline, then we're probably not a good fit for them. And we want them to deselect themselves from the process and say thanks, but no thanks. Now let's get to the V for value. This is a somewhat cliche word being used inside of the sales industry right now. Bring value, bring value, bring value. What does that mean? Well, first of all, you as a sales leader, if you're a sales manager, you need to really drill down into, do your reps understand how to bring value to the pain or problem that you solve? And you use content to address that particular pain. That content could be a webinar, an ebook, a blog, it could be a video, it could even be an event that you might be inviting them to. So we want to use that content to help them address that specific pain that reinforces our value proposition. Now, this is also very important if you're a seller. You are not trying to collect an email. If you're reaching out to somebody, you do not want to send them a gated piece of content. You don't want to say, I thought of you, Mr. VP of Sales, as you are trying to increase your sales pipeline. We have developed this ultimate guide to growing your sales pipeline, and here's the link for it. And then they land on that link, and it's a page where they actually have to input their data. No, 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 no. That's not bringing value. That's trying to have a lead capture. What you need to do is you need to give them that ebook as an example. And that's super important that you understand that bringing value is not trying to get them to fill out a lead page or a lead form. Bringing value is bringing that content right directly to them. But make sure that when you bring that value, when you give that information to that particular leader, that in fact, that you are bringing the data right to them, and it's pertinent and applicable to what it is that you sell or the problem that you solve. Example, if I was going to tell the VP of Sales that we help solve these two problems, or do you have these two problems, creating more sales conversations and increasing the sales pipeline, well, what I would do is I would give them a webinar, and that webinar is, here are 3 things that you can do to increase the number of sales conversations with your sales team tomorrow, today, whatever it might be, whatever words I want to use, and bring them that webinar, and then encourage them to watch it with their sales team. So that's bringing value right there. Now, the other piece that you want to be thinking about every time you create a message or an outreach or a phone call or an email or even a connection request is have a C in that particular writing or your words. The C is the call to action. That's the CTA. Now, most of us want to go straight in for the meeting. All of us want to be able to book that sales meeting. Yes, 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 I understand. That's what we're supposed to do, is book the meeting. But guess what? Sometimes we have to date before we get married. And that means we might want to use a call to action that is asking a question to solicit a response. We might be asking for their opinion. We might invite them to an event, or we might ask for a specific meeting. Any one of those particular CTAs are appropriate, but do count the cost of going straight for the meeting. If you go straight for the meeting, and it is not the target buyer, without personalization and without bringing value, you might not get that meeting. Alternatively, you could personalize, bring value, and ask a question. For example, I might say something to the effect of that we help sales leaders solve these 2 problems, and here's a webinar and also a ebook that will help them along the way. And then I might close with the question of, are these either of these 2 problems that I mentioned above challenges for you and your sales team? I'm trying to solicit engagement. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not asking for the meeting. So let's talk about, now that you understand how to use the Pvc Sales Method, the P for personalization, V for value, and C for CTA. Now that you understand how to do that, let's go in and talk about the actual anatomy of a perfect message. First of all, the anatomy of a perfect message should take no longer than 40 seconds to read. The best message are the messages that are hyper-personalized. And think of 111 words to state the pain and add value. Why is it 111 words? Well, after that, the human brain stops actually reading those particular words. So try to condense what it is you're saying to 111 words. And that's super, super, super duper hard, okay? In addition, make sure you include a CTA. Ask a question to solicit engagement. Now, most of us can't deliver on that best. It's really hard. In fact, for me, Mario Martinez, CEO of Vengreso, and we teach this, it is very hard for me to say things in 111 words, but I tried. So what about the next best thing? Well, here's what the acceptable would look like. If you can't personalize to the individual, personalize to the buyer persona. Make sure you're personalizing to that particular buyer persona, and you can go up to 200 words in your message. My rule of thumb, just as an FYI, is I want to stay to about 180 words or less. 180 words or less. So that's my rule of thumb that I manage to. But 200 would be the absolute maximum. And of course, include a CTA for the C in the PVC. Let me put this all together for you, okay? So I'm going to put this all together, and we're actually going to review the acceptable message. So this is not the best message, but this is the acceptable message, because I said the perfect message is really hard to do. So let's talk about what us commoners are going to be able to do. First off, whenever you reach out to somebody, you might say, hi, prospect's first name. Now, I always have my message that says, hey, prospect's first name. Why do I use hey? Well, that is what we call best friend messaging. And in all of my messages, I speak in best friend voice, especially if I'm doing it on social media. If I'm doing it on email, I might go down to hi, which is what we call friend voice. Whatever you use, don't use dear, don't use hello. That is formal. And that is no place in business writing when it comes to email and prospecting or social media and prospecting. Now, this is personalized to the buyer persona. This is not a personalized, hyper-personalized message. So I'm showing you the default backup. You might start out with the majority of sales leaders I speak to have two common problems they're trying to solve. Number one, create more sales conversations. And number two, build a stronger pipeline. Then you might say, directly below are two resources which have helped your peers address these problems. The first is a blog article that answers the question, 3 things that you can do right now to create more sales conversations. The second is and you can put the time frame inside here, a 30-minute video webinar, which addresses either one, how other buyers are solving this particular challenge in terms of sales pipeline, which is problem number 2, or you might use showcases how client XYZ was able to increase sales pipeline by $15 million, right? So what you're looking for is to try to give some credibility to this cold message that you're extending outreach to. When you do that, now you've got the P, which is personalization to the buyer persona at the top. Now you've got the V for some value. The next step might be a CTA. And that is, may I suggest a 30-minute meeting where I can share additional insights on how other companies are solving these problems. Okay, so now we've moved into the CTA. But how do you close that CTA? Well, let's go to the next slide. A lot of sellers these days, especially our younger sellers, pushing out their link, their calendar link. Go ahead and click on the link below and schedule a meeting with me at the time that's convenient for you. No, don't do that. You see, if you're selling to buyers that are our age and older, 45 and older, there's a general expectation that you need to work for that particular meeting. And oh, by the way, it's almost offensive for me, especially if you just send me a link and say, go click on the link to book a meeting. Unless I've got a burning issue that you've hit me at the exact right time, at the exact right moment, and you're a vendor that I've identified that I want to work with, then I'm likely not going to click that link. So the way you do it is you give them 3 dates and times that you're available. Now notice the script. The script says, insert a date 2 weeks out at 9 a.m., 3 weeks out at 1 p.m., and 4 weeks out at 4 p.m. What do you notice here? What you're noticing is that when we say 2 weeks out, we are acknowledging that that executive is a very busy executive. And when we say 3 weeks out, we are pulling out all of the possibilities that that individual might not accept that particular meeting. And then when we say 4 weeks out, we are absolutely pulling out all stops, but notice the time: morning, mid-afternoon, and evening. And what you're looking for as a seller is when does this buyer like to meet? Do they like to do vendor meetings in the morning, in the mid-afternoon after lunch, or in the late afternoon? I like to do all of mine after 4 p.m., all of my vendor meetings. And if you can't accommodate my schedule, no problem. That is okay. I can find somebody who will, but that's when I do all of my vendor meetings, right? So with that in mind, now you can say, alternatively, to avoid email scheduling volleyball, click the link, schedule a call with Mario, and feel free to find a time that best matches to your calendar. And then you can say, let me know which option works best for you. So in this case, you're giving them 3 dates and times that they can easily go look for. And if neither one of those 3 dates and times work, they see that you've done the work and they are willing to now click on your calendar link. That, my friends and sales leaders, is how you introduce the calendar link. So make sure that when you're looking at the CTA, that you understand how to properly introduce the calendar link. All right. So with that in mind, where can you find this particular script? Well, let me help you. Introducing to you Fly Message. That's right, Fly MSG. We pronounce it as Fly Message. It is a sales productivity tool. It's a sales productivity tool. And this tool, I'm actually going to show you live and in person. This particular tool, I'm very excited to show you this. And I'll give you a quick demo right about now. So let me transition over here from these slides. Let me show you what Fly Message can do, and then I'll show you how to make it look awesome. So first off, we're going to share my screen. I'm in an email, and in this email, watch the words that I type. You can see I'm typing right here, right now, hopefully. I'm going to delete these words, and I'm going to create some magic. I'm going to create some magic. Here we go. I'm going to type in the word dash cold template. And look what just happened. Did you see that? Did you see that? Hold on. Let's try that one more time. I'm going to come here and type in the word dash cold template. Dash cold template. And now, voila. That's what happens is now this whole entire script is pushed out to you. And by the way, it looks pretty much exactly like the script that I just showed you in the training, right? So would you like a copy of this script? I'm sure you would. Let me give you a couple other ideas here as well. If I were to type in the words book a meeting, look what happens. Now we actually have this particular application is storing all of these great, wonderful texts. So what I'm going to do is Vengreso.com/fly message. Vengreso.com/fly message. And what I want you to do is you're going to come here to Fly Message. You're going to click on Add to Chrome. It's free. And so what we're going to do is we're going to install this because Fly Message is totally free and you're going to love it. And it actually has about 20 some odd scripts inside there. And of course, we have about 70 different sales scripts that we teach in our sales courses. And that's available if you wanted to purchase as well at moresalescalls.com. But we've embedded a lot of these already into Fly MSG. Once you do that, you'll come here and you'll install it to Chrome. Now, once you install the Chrome, mine says remove from Chrome because I obviously have it installed. So make sure that you add to Chrome right here. And likely when you come over here to this screen, this icon won't be inside here. You won't see this Fly Message icon right here. Likely when you look at it, you won't see the Fly Message icon. So I'm going to show you what yours will look like. It's missing, but if you come here to this little puzzle piece right here in the extensions, the little puzzle piece in Chrome, and you come here to Fly Message, if you see that the pin extension is not blue, if the pin extension is not blue, watch what happens up top over here when I make this blue. Here we go. There's my Fly MSG right there, Fly Message. So once I do that, you need to click on it. And when you click on it, your screen will look just like this. Sign in or sign up. Now, once you sign up and you sign in, it's there alive pretty much forever, unless you clear your cookies and you have to sign back in again. So go ahead and hit the sign up button. When you sign up, it'll come to a screen that looks like this. And all you have to do is create your email and password or just sign in with Google. Sign in with Google. So that's what I would do is sign in with Google. I'm going to log in here with myself and sign in. And voila, I'm inside. And this is Fly Message. Now, over here, I've got my fly board, my fly plates, which are templates, and my fly cuts, which are shortcuts. So my fly board right inside of here, there are 7 tutorials. It's about 25 minutes worth of reading content, watching content, and it'll show you everything that you need to learn to be able to use Fly Message. It's super simple and super easy. Once you're here, you can go peruse our fly plates. We've got standard canned messages for what's called connection requests. So if I click on connection requests, you can see we've put inside here. So if you're trying to connect with somebody, if this is your key customers contacts manager, or if you saw them speak, or when a buyer has viewed your profile, look at this one. The fly cut is -CR viewed for connection requests viewed when they viewed your profile. And there's a button right here that says add to Chrome. Add to your fly cuts. Updated my fly cuts just like this. You'll see that a button that says add to your fly cuts inside of there. And when you do that, it now ends up over here. Now, there's a couple things that you can do. Let's take a look at my fly cuts. You can see I've got all these cool categories, and mine are alphabetized. You can move the hamburgers as you so please, just like that, up and down. If you want to create a category that makes sense to you, just come here to this button down here called Add Category. Add Category right here. If you want to add a fly cut right away, you can just simply click the fly cut. Now, the reason why we have these fly cuts, as you can see inside of here, when I click on, I'm going to go to, let's go to the connection requests, since we're talking about a little bit about LinkedIn today. And up inside of here, I've got Test My Fly Cuts. There's a simple text preview and a rich text preview. Fly Message is smart enough, guys, that it actually knows when you are on email, like Gmail, versus when you are on LinkedIn, which is simple text preview. But if you forget, just click on the little mouse right there. And so you can test all of your shortcuts right inside of here. So as an example, if I want to, when a buyer has viewed my profile, I've changed the code that Vengreso gave me, and I've come inside here and I've modified the fly cut. I've also titled it the way that makes sense to me. And here's my message right inside of here. So as an example, I'll come here and I'm going to use this fly cut for thanks view. It's THXVIEW. Watch what happens. THXVIEW. And voila, it works perfectly. Okay. So I have the ability to do that. I also could add pictures. I could add hyperlinks inside of here to be able to hyperlink my text. I've got all kinds of cool things that I can do as I normally would and have pictures. And if I used any of those things, well, when I do it in rich text preview, here you go. You can test it out to see that all those pictures are inside there. Okay. So that's where you want to be testing at. If you want to create more categories, like I said, just add a category over here and organize your content. Fly Message essentially allows you to speed up the process. So as an example, when someone asks me for my bio as an example, if you're an entrepreneur, underneath my, I think it's my general category, I've got my bio right here. I've pre-programmed all of this right here. This is my bio. This is my images, links, all that good stuff, right? So I'm going to show you how it works under the bio. I'm just going to do -bio, and look what happens. It all works. Super short text. Now, the question you may be asking is where does this all work at? Pretty much anywhere on the internet. Anywhere on the internet. You've got the ability to be able to use this inside of Salesforce. You've got the ability to use this inside of HubSpot. You've got the ability to use it inside of Gmail, LinkedIn, and the application is smart enough, like I said earlier, to allow you to be able to use it on LinkedIn and create one standard message, even if you have images or video, a video image from like Hippo Video or OneMob as an example. Well, you'll be able to embed that into messaging, and now will be used, and we'll take the URL that's embedded with that image that would show up on Gmail. But if you're using it on LinkedIn, we'll automatically convert it into the link for you. Okay, so that's really, really exciting for that. So that is Fly Message. So let me come back here to the screen, and you should now be seeing the screen here. So if you have any problems, you can go to Vengreso.com or just type in flymsg.io, flymsg.io, and that should get you there. For some reason, some computers are having a little bit of a problem with the HTTP thing. So all you have to do is go to Vengreso.com/flymessage, MSG. Just go to Vengreso.com/flymsg, and away you go. All right, fantastic. And please, 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 it's a free tool. We built so many cool features into the Fly Message. Go ahead and leave a review. Leave a review. And for all of you out there watching the show live right now, what I would love to know if you're out there, if you've used Fly Message already. Some great questions are coming in, actually. Do I need to clear Fly MSG with my IT department before downloading? The answer to that question is, does your IT department allow you to download Chrome extensions or install Chrome extensions to your laptop? If they do, you don't need special permission because your IT department has already approved the use of Chrome extensions. And with Chrome extensions, we've been already approved by Google. So there's a kind of the trust factor. If IT allows you to install Chrome extensions on your Chrome browser, then they're trusting that Google has done their due diligence that we're not going to corrupt your machine. So the answer to that is no, you do not if they allow you to do that. What tools can I use to help me schedule meetings? I don't have a CRM. That's okay. Fly MSG You can pre-program the text, book a meeting. Let me show you that one more time. All right, so watch what happens for booking a meeting. I'm going to type in the words book. I'm going to use fly MSG, fly message. Watch what happens. Book a meeting. Boom. And it builds out all the text for me right there. So I can put anything I want right inside of there, and it leads me directly back to my web page where you can schedule a meeting, or you can use your Calendly link, your time trade link, whatever it is that you so desire to be able to make that work, okay? So that's how you get that done, and hopefully that answered that particular question. Great question, by the way. All right, so that's Fly Message. You're gonna love the tool. Make sure you download it or install it, install it. I've been corrected a couple times. It's install to your Chrome browser and go have fun with it. And don't forget, once you install the Chrome extension, you need to sign up. So click on that little icon in the upper right-hand corner to show the FM purple logo in your Chrome browser extensions. So let's get back into the next thing I want to talk to you about, and that is LinkedIn name pronunciation. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this particular feature. It is a really awesome feature, and it is a 10-second audiogram. So if you'll allow me, I'm going to share my screen, and I'll put this in full screen mode. Let me roll this video, and you can see how it works. I'll roll this video right now.
LinkedIn name pronunciation. That's right. You've got the ability to be able to create a potential 10-second advertisement that someone can hear off of your profile. Simply put, you've got the ability to give someone the ability to hear how to pronounce your name. But let's not waste that if you're a salesperson or a sales leader. You want to take the time to be able to give a 10-second advertisement so that they can understand why they should continue looking at your LinkedIn profile. But the first thing you need to understand is that you could only do this as of right now on a mobile device.
Check the number and dial again. This is a recording.
I'll show you how to do it, and then I'll show you some examples. So the first thing we're going to do to be able to create the name pronunciation or leverage the name pronunciation is we're going to go to our LinkedIn profile on our mobile device. And what you're looking for, the end outcome, is this icon right there, that little speaker. To get there, you're going to click that little pencil mark right there. Once you click it, you will see a little item right down over here that says add name pronunciation. Now, if you already have it, all you need to do is edit what you've got. So if you don't have it, you'll see a blue icon right there that says add name pronunciation. So click that button and start recording. Or if you've got it, click the little pencil icon right there and you can click record new pronunciation. And then follow the prompts to be able to actually save it on your profile. Once you're done, make sure you click that save button right at the top. Otherwise, you'll lose your work. So that's how you actually get the LinkedIn name pronunciation on your profile. But you might be asking, well, what should I say if I've only got 10 seconds? Well, we at Vengreso created our own sets of templates. And I'm going to show you a few of them, and I'm going to show you one that is not from Vengreso that I really liked as well. Okay, I just recorded the actual advertisement. Here's what it actually sounds like.
Hey, this is Mario Martinez Jr. Follow me here on LinkedIn or visit moresalescalls.com to get training on how to prospect smarter and better.
If you're not maybe a salesperson, maybe you support sales, or maybe you're just a good old-fashioned employee, what might you say then? Let's listen in to this example.
Hey there, welcome to my profile. Daniel Angel here. I'm the sales coordinator at Vengreso.
So that was option 2. Maybe you just might want to use your name and state your position. Now, option number 3 is another great 10-second advertisement. And it's from my friend, Brandon Bornanson, CEO of Seamless.ai. Take a listen to this.
Hey, great to meet you. It's Brandon Bornanson. Connect with me here or join my free daily newsletter at Seamless.ai, where you can get emails and cell phones for anyone in the world.
There you have it. 3 different ways to be able to create an advertisement using the LinkedIn name pronunciation feature. Here's what I want you to do right now. Write down your name pronunciation advertisement. And here are some best practice tips. Do not use more than 25 words. Bring it down to 25 words because that's about all you can say at a fast-paced environment for a 10-second clip. Generally, most people are going to want to keep it down to about 20 words or less, but you can get in about 25 if you are speaking fast enough, like Brandon or myself. And actually, a little secret, Brandon got in 33 words inside there. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to be able to get more digital sales tips just like this to help you create more sales conversations, or visit us at moresalescalls.com. Take care.
All right, so that was LinkedIn name pronunciation, which you now have access to, and hopefully you saw the real cool factor of being able to actually add that to your LinkedIn profile. Now, LinkedIn name pronunciation, there's a fantastic article that we have for the LinkedIn name pronunciation in case you actually wanted the scripts that we talked about, and those scripts are available online through the article that we wrote. So you can actually look at it from there. But now what I want to do is get us back into our presentation. So I will show you 2 sample copies, scripts that you can use for the LinkedIn name pronunciation. Here you go. And these are all available through the blog article. All right, so hopefully you've got an idea about how to be able to create your own LinkedIn name pronunciation, and make sure you enable that on mobile as well. So go ahead, your homework, you need to create it. Go drop it into your LinkedIn and put it inside there, and make sure you add that name pronunciation inside of there. All right, let's go on to the next ones. So make sure that if you want to start more sales conversations and get more great tips like this, that you actually go to moresalescalls.com. We can help you with starting more sales conversations using LinkedIn as an example. And those cool tips and tricks that we just showed you right there with respects to LinkedIn name pronunciation, well, you got it. You'll be able to get to moresalescalls.com, and we can actually help you out with starting more sales conversations, whether you're using LinkedIn or LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And what I love about this particular program is that it actually can help you with the branding piece, teaching you how to find and engage, how to connect with your buyers, how to feed your buyers valuable content, and finally, how to cadence and how to put it all together. So I'm so glad that you joined us. Make sure that if you have any questions, you can send it to sales@vengreso.com, and certainly visit moresalescalls.com are the references that I gave you. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll over to Q&A. So we've got some questions. Let me just take a look at them. All right, some good questions. So someone says, with LinkedIn name pronunciation, do you think it actually makes a difference? Well, the answer to that question is assuming that someone clicks on the little audiogram icon, yeah, it would make a difference. But especially true if you have a hard name to pronounce. And what you want to make sure you're doing is giving your buyers every opportunity to engage with you correctly. And also think about it this way. I just showed you the LinkedIn name pronunciation feature. Take that article and send it off to your clients that you're prospecting to, especially if they're in sales or marketing, and say, hey, I don't know if you know about this new feature, but I thought that you might benefit from the LinkedIn name pronunciation feature. It's a non-sales technique, and it's certainly providing value. That's for darn sure. Reach out to that person and say, read this article, and send them the article that we've got, which has the whole video that you just saw right now inside of there. So that's a good one for you to use. And remember, it's a 10-second audiogram. So you've got 10 seconds on the radio, if you would. That's free. You might as well use it. That's really the goal there. Related to the, let's see, another question that's coming in is related to the Pvc Sales Methodology. They asked for a repeat of when we might use the Pvc Sales Methodology. Okay, so I mentioned to you that the Pvc Sales Method, so if you go to pvcsalesmethod.com, it can be used for a social touch. It can be used for an email. It can be used for even a text, and yes, even an actual voicemail or an actual conversation. That's what the Pvc method can be used in all of those environments. So make sure that you're leveraging personalization, figuring out what value you're going to bring, and also having the right call to action. And it's not always booking the meeting. It might be asking a question to create engagement. Someone said, can you highlight the information of where you got the data around what's acceptable and what's best in terms of best practices for the length of the message? Great question as well. And so that actually comes, there's some references that we have inside the material, but it's actually the science of what an individual is able to consume in terms of reading a short messages. 111 words is the time that scientists have studied when someone's eyes and brain starts deviating from the message. And that's why we say, 111 is really hard, especially to be short and concise. But I generally do about 150, 180 words is my maximum if I'm doing a prospecting message. So you'll be just fine if you're up in that 150, 180. And remember this, what you're thinking about is the scroll, the good old scroll. You want to make sure that you have at most in your message on mobile, think of an iPhone 10, which is the smaller screen, the small screen. At most, what you want to do is have one scroll for your message, just one. That's one of the general rules of thumb there. Another question that came in, great question as well, regarding the CTA and the meeting requests and using calendar links. Let me just read this question here one more time. And it's asking about the use of calendar links. I think I understand the question. The use of calendar links with respects to giving 3 dates and times. If I understand the question correctly, I think what you're asking is it's okay to use it in both of them, the calendar link and as well as give the way we teach is to make sure that you're using all three, give 3 dates and times, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and 4 weeks out at 9, 1, and 4, so that you understand when the prospect or customer likes to meet. And if that doesn't work, you can say alternatively, if that doesn't work, I've provided my link here to help us avoid email scheduling volleyball. Another question on Fly Message, where does it work at? Fly Message works pretty much almost anywhere on the internet. We've tested it in quite a number of places. But for some reason, if it doesn't work on your particular application that you're using it in, just make sure you send a message to support@vengreso.com. In the upper right-hand corner of Fly Message, there's the support window. So just click on that, pop in a message, let us know the application that you're trying to use it in, and we'll go and see if we can test on it and figure out why it won't be working there. But it is an auto text expander on steroids as well. Great. Those are all really, really, really great questions. And so with that in mind, I'm going to close out those questions, and we're going to wrap it up with this final video. Thanks so much for joining us.